Everyday superpower where we talk body language, relationships, game, human dynamics, everything in between. Alright, let me put you on to something. We're going to get into the mystical and the esoteric and the unseen on this one, but we're going to talk about relationships, we're going to talk about becoming a better man, and we're going to talk about the reality of what is, especially when you become sensitive to the world around you. Yes? Once you open your third eye and you stop digesting shit and you stop jerking off every 2 minutes, and when you learn about the pineal gland and the vibration of life itself. People use the term vibrations. It got cool and abbreviated to vibes. If you didn't know that, that's quite fascinating, right? There is a deeper depth to it. Oh, I don't like the vibe in here. The vibe is short form for vibration, right? That's pop terminology utilized for something that is quite a deep, esoteric, if not literal, scientific component to the life we live. If you want to, people say, oh, high frequency and low frequencies, right? The thing is, you might believe that this is nonsensical pseudoscience. What you want about frequencies and vibrations and stuff like this? Consider it this: garbage in, garbage out. Yeah, that's a engineering term. I, talking on a personal experience, went away, had a great time with a beautiful woman, experienced some culture, some higher art, discussed, a deeper level of the symbolic meaning of life through the expression of fantastic artists, explored new cultures, ate fantastic food, had a great time. First and foremost, had a good time. Yes? Energizing, creative, and fantastic. Now, when I come back after that, after so many days away, and I enter a particular room of people who I knew, let's not say friends because it's not the case, but when you deal with so many people, you have to enter rooms of people you may or may not like. After that experience, I enter a room as to where my first engagement was one of such a disappointing energy, such a disappointing communication. In this disappointing space in relation to the place I've been, relative to the experience I've had, you feel the crash. Listen to this. When you have a great weekend and now you have to go back to work, that's a change of your vibration because you associate and you perceive and you absorb negative vibration at work. And if you feel that way towards work, oh, I've got that Monday feeling, the Monday blues, that's because you enter a space where everybody else is radiating and emitting and consuming that same degree of vibration in that environment. It catches on. It catches on. You do not save the drowning man. If somebody's fucking killing themselves off, all you're going to do is get dragged to your own death by going out of your way to ensure that that person has some degree of, safety under your umbrella. You have to fight your battles because you'll get brought down with the people around you. You think, I want to be more of a man, right? So if you want to be more of a man, and more than a man, you want to be a higher entity, and you want to elevate yourself and how you're perceived and how people engage with you and just look at you full stop. Think about this practically. If you go into your city centre and you go shopping for shoes, yeah, and you really like trainers, and this is self-assessment of one's own life, yeah, I like trainers, I like a smart pair of Nikes, and so on and so forth. But I go into the store, and who's around me? Kids. My people, in the sense that it's the class I reside in. But the people who are judged and the people who are deemed as less of quality and ignorant and underpaid and all of these negative connotations. They are all residing and existing in this space where I was going to purchase shoes, and they're into the same thing, interested in purchasing the same shoes and blah 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 blah. When I purchased that pair of shoes, I now emit the frequency and the vibration of that which these people share. This is a hard pill to swallow, and I'm not saying it's about how much money you spend on things or brands. If anything, it's the complete opposite. That's not the case. We can spend the same amount of money on a smart pair of shoes in a different shop that associates to a different crowd, that have got more uplifting things to say, that come from a background as to where they might have come from, that working class, impoverished background, and used to buy the trainers, but thought, right, now it's time to grow up a little bit. Now it's time to understand how I'm perceived and portray myself in a way where I'm perceived as something a little bit more, right? And this is a tough pill to swallow, because we can be hippy-dippy and say, oh, it's about the content of character, oh, it's about the quality of self, and so on and so forth, but you are perceived as you are. People don't walk down the street and look at who you might be or where you're going unless you spark interest. And if you spark interest, you can't blend in with a lower class crowd. Okay? That's not to say class in the sense that there's working class, middle class, and upper class in England. It's to say class in regards to how you're portrayed and grouped in, as far as being a sheeple or a masculine man worthy of independence. Yeah. You now enter this next shoe shop that's selling Chelsea boots and leather flipping, I don't know, you tell me. I'm not a big boot fan and this and that, but they're selling professional suit wear and smart boots and smart shoes, you know, made of better fabrics, produced with better craftsmanship. So as opposed to being made by some starving Chinese people across the world who are paid for slave labour, yeah, you are now not only collaborating with the other consumers of this product who are of a higher standard of how they're perceived by women. Let's talk about the dating, but it applies to men as well. They're perceived as more valuable by the women, but the actual item radiates of a better vibration because it does not derive from a place of scarcity, more so of a place of abundance, from a professional craftsman who can take all the time in the world to ensure he produces a great product. Okay? When it comes to the eating of food, think about, this isn't an argument for veganism or vegetarian or, you know, this, that, and the third. But if you understand that the animal as to which you're eating prior to its death has been boxed up in this horrific horror show of a condition before its painful demise. And I'm a meat eater, okay? But I'm telling you, if you're taking that energy or what resides in that item and consuming that, that becomes you. You need to pay attention to what you're consuming, what you're paying attention to, because for that brief moment, that engagement actually creates something more than what we're consciously aware of. What we give attention to grows. Yes? If I am around people who are constantly emitting a negative energy through to the disdain and the gossip and the the self-hate and the bad times, and they're associated with people who are going under bad times and have bad situations, so on and so forth, you end up in this frequency echo chamber that is very hard to get out of. You're stuck in the mud and you need to elevate above and beyond and continue moving up if you want to be perceived and if you want a better quality of life. What more needs to be said? What more needs to be said, right? On that note, I'm signing out. Like and subscribe. Peace.